The African National Congress and the Umkhonto Wesizwe Party are set for a legal showdown at the Supreme Court of Appeal. And this is over the use of the Umkhonto Wesizwe name and logo. The MK party insists that this name and logo belong to all who served in the liberation struggle. Now, the Durban High Court was previously the scene of their first battle and granted the ANC permission to take the matter to the Supreme Court of Appeal. Ziniko Mhlaba is following that story and joins us now. Ziniko, take us back, pardon me, take us back to the genesis of this matter. And it certainly set itself up as being a battle royale over the name and logo between the MKP and the ANC.
Well, we'll remember that Umkhonto Wesizwe Party was formed, and we saw on that 16th of December, the former president of the ANC, Jacob Zuma in Orlando, announcing that he will be supporting and voting for Umkhonto Wesizwe Party, and that was ahead of the 2024 general elections. And then Umkhonto Party, as an organization, was registered with the IEC as an official political party that was eligible to contest for those general elections. That's when then a couple of months later, the ANC then was informed about those developments. So they did approach the IEC to say that they've got concerns and issues with the name and the logo that was used by the then new party, which was Umkhonto Wesizwe Party. So a hearing was held within the IEC, and unfortunately for the ANC, they lost that appeal with the IEC. So they lost that part because they were also tabling, arguments stating that it would cause confusion with the voters because Umkhonto Wesizwe Party, Umkhonto Wesizwe as the name and that logo were very much aligned with the ANC, especially its struggle, which was named Umkhonto Wesizwe when it was formed in 1961, following those massacres that took place here in Gauteng and Sharpeville, but also in the Western Cape, Kwalanga, where 3 people were killed with several others getting injured. So the ANC lost that battle with the IEC. So they then changed tune and then focused on how they will need to protect, the name and also the logo through trademark and also intellectual property. That's when that hearing was heard at the Durban High Court. They also lost that battle with the High Court in Durban, saying that, well, the ANC self-inflicted, that issue and the court said that it was not an urgent matter, so there was no need for the Durban High Court to entertain it. Following that judgment by the Durban High Court, the ANC then appealed and they succeeded in their appeal, and the Durban High Court, granted them leave to appeal to come here behind me at the Supreme Court of Appeal to table their grievances with that judgment of the Durban High Court. However, what came out of those hearings in Durban was the fact that the ANC did not really table, the advancement of needing to protect its heritage through trademarking and intellectual property. So one legal expert, Mpumelelo Zikalala, spoke to my colleagues Yanda outside court to really, explain whether the ANC had done enough to advance that argument based on intellectual property and trademark. So let's take a listen to Mr. Zikalala explaining his thoughts on that particular view.
Yes, it does appear in their papers, but I do not believe that it was canvassed in a much more comprehensive manner that would have been able to convince any court or a presiding officer to say, this is what the ANC is fighting about. It was more of saying, we are heading to elections. We have members that closely associate with the name Umkhonto Wesizwe. They are going to be confused, thinking that it is Umkhonto Wesizwe of the ANC. Meanwhile, it is not. Can the court come to our rescue?
So that's Mr. Mpumelelo Zikalala, legal expert, there talking to my colleagues Yanda Ngobo about whether the ANC had done enough to really, take that advancement to this particular court. So we are expecting the MK then to defend its position by saying that, well, that logo and the name belong to all those who served in the liberation struggle, and the ANC are expecting it to really say that, well, we're not canvassing that argument for the elections of 2024. We want to protect our heritage. So proceedings are expected to start at 9:30 here in Bloemfontein at the Supreme Court of Appeal.
And we will bring it to our viewers as well. Ziniko Mhlaba, thank you for that update.